My wife told her friends at ladies' night, "He's so bad in bed, I pretend he's my ex." They laughed. I was at the next table. I sent drinks over with a note. "Now you can have him full-time." When she saw the divorce lawyer's card. I'm writing this from the deck of a rental cabin about 3 hours outside the city. It's quiet here. The kind of quiet you have to earn. I'm a 38-year-old man, and up until 72 hours ago I was a married man. My wife, Jessica, 34F, is currently finding out that the lifestyle she treated as a birthright was actually a privilege I provided and revoked. A little background so you understand I'm not some knee-jerk reactor. I work in commercial construction management. I started as a laborer at 18, started my own GC firm at 26, and now I handle large-scale contracts. My life is built on logistics, contracts, and concrete. I don't do drama. I don't do games. If a subcontractor tries to screw me on materials, I don't argue. I pull the contract and I fire them. I treat my personal life the same way. Respect is the currency. If the respect is gone, the relationship is a liability. I met Jessica 5 years ago. She was different then, or she played the part well. She was a teacher, humble, preached about traditional values, loyalty, and wanting a quiet life. I made it clear early on. I work hard. I provide a very good life. I expect peace at home. No toxicity. No mind games. She agreed. We signed a prenup before the wedding. My lawyer insisted. Given the assets I brought into the marriage, the business, the house I bought years prior, my portfolio. She signed it without hesitation, calling it just paper because we're forever. That was the mask. About 8 months ago, Jessica quit teaching. She said she was burnt out and wanted to focus on us and maybe starting a family. I agreed. I could support us easily. But instead of focusing on us, she found a new social circle. I call them the Coven. The ringleader is Sarah, 40F, divorced twice, collects alimony like it's a sport. Then there's Michelle, 36F, perpetually single, hates men. And Danny, 33F, cheating on her husband openly. Jessica started spending all her time with them. Ladies' lunches, empowerment weekends, wine nights. I saw the change immediately. Jessica started making little digs at me. "Why do you work so much?" "To pay for your Pilates classes, Jessica." "You're so serious all the time." Sarah's ex bought her a Range Rover. "Why do I drive a Highlander?" I shut it down every time. I told her, "I'm not Sarah's ex. I'm your husband. If you want a Range Rover, go back to teaching and lease one. If you want to hang out with women who bash men, don't bring that attitude into my house." She would backtrack, apologize, play the sweet wife again. I wasn't blinded by love. I was observant. I knew the influence was toxic. But I believed a 34-year-old woman could think for herself. I was wrong. Thursday night was the kill shot. I had a dinner meeting with Frank, a massive developer I'd been trying to land a contract with for 2 years. This dinner was make or break. We met at a high-end steakhouse downtown. Dark wood, leather booths. Very expensive. Very private. We were in a corner booth. Frank is old school. No nonsense. We were discussing timelines when a group of loud women were seated in the booth directly behind me. Because of the high-backed leather seats, I couldn't see them, and they couldn't see me. But I knew the voices. It was the Coven. And Jessica. I froze. Frank saw my face change. He paused. "Is there a problem, son?" I held up a finger. "Quiet, please." They were already wasted. The conversation was vile. Sarah was bragging about how she tricked her ex into paying for a vacation. Danny was laughing about her side piece. Then, Sarah turned the spotlight on Jessica. "So Jess," Sarah said, her voice carrying like a foghorn. "How's life with the ATM? Is Mr. Construction still boring you to death?" I waited. I waited for my wife, the woman whose car lease I pay, whose student loans I paid off, whose life I fund, to say, "Hey, stop it. He's a good man. Jessica laughed, a cruel, cackling laugh I'd never heard before. Oh, my God, Sarah. Don't even ask. It's excruciating. He comes home, talks about concrete, eats steak, and goes to sleep. He's a robot. But the sex, Michelle chimed in. Come on. Big, tough guy. Gotta be good, right? The table went silent for a second. Then Jessica dropped the bomb. Please, it's like sleeping with a log. He's so vanilla it hurts. Honestly. Half the time I have to close my eyes and pretend he's Brad just to get through it. The table erupted. Screaming laughter. High fives. Brad the college ex. Sarah shrieked. The one who cheated on you. Whatever works, right? Jessica giggled. Brad was a scumbag. But God, the chemistry. Jason is just safe. He pays the bills. So I close my eyes, think of Brad, and let Jason think he's the man. Whatever keeps the Amex working, right? My blood didn't boil. It froze. Absolute zero. In that second the marriage didn't just end. It was incinerated. It wasn't just the insult to my performance, which frankly I know is a lie, considering she initiates 90% of the time. It was the safe. The Amex. The pretending it's the ex. It was the total, utter lack of respect. She viewed me as a utility. A wallet with a pulse. Frank was staring at me. He heard every word. He looked at his glass, then at me. That's your wife? He asked quietly. Was, I said. Meeting adjourned, Frank. I'm sorry. Don't apologize, Frank said. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a cigar, and handed it to me. Handle your business. We'll sign the contract Monday. I like a man who doesn't tolerate disrespect. I didn't storm over there. I didn't flip the table. That's what a weak, emotional man does. I calculated. I called the waiter. I ordered a round of 4 lemon drop shots, the cheap, sugary drink she used to drink with Brad in college. I took out one of my business cards. On the back, I wrote in bold ink, since you're thinking of him anyway, you're free to go find him. The Amex is cancelled. The house is locked. Good luck with Brad. The ATM. I gave the waiter $100 bill. Drop these shots and this card at the table behind me in exactly 2 minutes, not a second sooner. I walked out with Frank. As we reached the valet, I heard a cheer of free shots from inside. I got in my truck. I felt a cold, grim satisfaction. I drove home. My house. Bought in 2016. Separate property. I went straight to the master bedroom. I took her 4 suitcases. I didn't throw her clothes. I folded them. I packed everything that she bought or I bought her. Clothes, shoes, makeup, the jewelry. I left the family heirlooms she supposedly valued on the dresser. I wasn't going to be accused of theft. I dragged the bags to the garage. Then I went to my safe. I pulled out the prenup and the deed to the house. I sat in the living room, lights off, a glass of whiskey in hand, and I waited. Update 1. The return. It took her an hour. She must have had to argue with the friends, pay the bill, on her own card, which I assume declined, forcing her to use debit and drive home. She burst through the front door. She looked terrified. Jason, she screamed. Where are you? I turned on the lamp next to me. Here. She rushed over, mascara running, smelling like cheap vodka and fear. Are you crazy? You humiliated me. You sent that note. The waiter read it. Sarah read it. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was? I took a sip of whiskey. More embarrassing than telling a restaurant that you pretend your husband is your ex-boyfriend to tolerate sex with him. She froze. She tried to pivot. The classic Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. It was a joke. We were just girls talking trash. You're so insecure. My God, Jason, you spying on me. That's abusive. I was having dinner with a client in the next booth, Jessica. You were shouting. And the Brad comment. That wasn't a joke. I checked the phone logs while I was waiting for you. I had done this in the car. Very Sion family plan. She had been texting a 305 number, Brad's area code, for 3 weeks. Hundreds of texts. Her face went white. He reached out. He's going through a hard time. And you're his emotional support animal. I stood up. I'm 6 feet 2 inches. I didn't yell, but I used my job site voice. The voice that makes grown men put their hard hats back on. You are done. The suitcases are in the garage. You are leaving. I am not leaving. This is my house. You can't kick me out. That's a legal eviction. She had clearly been coached by Sarah on the ride over. Actually, I said, calm as death. I can. This house is my separate property. You are not on the deed. However, you are right. You have tenancy rights. So here is the offer. You can stay. But I am filing for divorce tomorrow morning. I will list adultery as the cause, citing your text logs and your public confession tonight as evidence of emotional infidelity. I will drag Brad into court for a deposition. I will subpoena Sarah. I will make your life a public hell in this town. Or you can take your bags, go to Sarah's luxury apartment tonight, and we handle this quietly with the prenup. She stared at me. She weighed the options. She knew I had the money to burn on lawyers. And she had nothing. You're a monster, she spat. I wasted 5 years on you. And I paid for them, I countered. Get out. She grabbed her keys. I'm taking the SUV. Lease is in my name, I said. I'll let you keep it for 30 days. If you miss a payment, I report it stolen. Go. She loaded the bags, screaming profanities the whole time. She peeled out of the driveway. I locked the door. I set the alarm. I slept like a baby. Update 2. The Flying Monkeys and the Ex. Reality: the next 48 hours were a masterclass in female manipulation tactics. First came the Flying Monkeys. Sarah texted me at 2 a.m. You are a pathetic, insecure little man. Kicking your wife out over a joke. You'll pay for this. We are getting the best lawyers. I replied, good luck. Jessica has $400 in her checking account. I hope you're funding the retainer. Also, does your husband know you're encouraging your friend to text her ex? I'd hate for him to find out about your girls' night's activities. Blocked. Then, Jessica's mom, Diane. Diane called me crying. Jason, please. She's your wife. She made a mistake. She was drunk. You can't just throw her away. Marriage is for better or worse. Diane, I said. She told a table of strangers she pretends I'm her ex-boyfriend, while we're intimate. She's been texting that ex for a month. If you think that's acceptable, you take her in. But she's not coming back here. She was texting Brad. Diane's voice dropped. Even she knew Brad was a disaster. Ask her, I said. And tell her to ask Brad for money, since she loves him so much. Now the best part. Brad. I did some digging. I have resources. Brad isn't the successful architect Jessica claimed he was back in the day. Brad is back in town, working as a bartender at a chain restaurant, living with 2 roommates at 34. Jessica went to him. Of course she did. She thought, fine, Jason kicked me out. I'll go to my soulmate. I got a text from a buddy of mine, Dave, who happened to be at that bar Saturday night. Dude, your wife is here. She's hanging all over the bartender. Is that the ex? Me, yeah. Watch. Dave, he looks annoyed. She's crying. He's trying to serve drinks and she's blocking the well. Management just asked her to move. Sunday morning I got the email. From Jessica. Subject. Jason. Please. I messed up. I went to see Brad. And he's He's not who I remembered. He was rude to me. He wouldn't even let me stay at his place because his roommate said no. I'm staying at a motel. Sarah won't let me stay with her because her husband is home. I have nowhere to go. I'm sorry. I realized I love you. You're my rock. Please. Can we talk? I'll sign a postnup. I'll do anything. Translation. Brad is broke and won't support me. Sarah is a fake friend who won't inconvenience herself. You have the nice house and the money. Let me back in. I forwarded the email to my lawyer. Add this to the evidence file. Admission of seeking out the affair partner. Update 3. The legal smackdown Monday morning. I met with my lawyer. We filed. I didn't wait. We served her at her job. She works 15 hours a week as a receptionist at a yoga studio. Her fun money job. She called me immediately. Irreconcilable differences. You're really doing this? Yes. I want half, she hissed. The sad wife act dropped instantly. I want half the house. I want alimony. I supported your career. You signed a prenup, Jessica. You get what you came with. Separate property remains separate. No alimony for marriages under 10 years. Read the document. I was under duress. I'll say you forced me. My lawyer has the video of the signing, Jessica. You were laughing and drinking champagne. Good luck with that. She tried to fight. She really did. She hired a lawyer, probably on a credit card I don't know about. They tried to claim the prenup was invalid. They tried to claim she contributed to the value of the house by decorating. My lawyer crushed them. We produced the receipts. I paid for the remodel. I paid the mortgage. I paid the taxes. She paid for throw pillows. The mediation lasted 4 hours. In the end, her lawyer took her into the hallway. I could hear him yelling. He was telling her the truth. You have no case. Take the settlement or get nothing. The settlement. I offered to pay her car lease for 3 more months and give her $5,000 cash to move out of my life. She took it. Final update, 5 months later. The divorce is final. I am sitting here at the cabin, fishing, drinking good coffee. Jessica. She's living in a small apartment on the bad side of town. She had to return the SUV because she couldn't afford the insurance and gas, let alone the lease once I stopped paying. She drives a beater now. The coven fell apart. Sarah dropped Jessica the moment she wasn't useful or fun anymore. Apparently, a broke crying friend isn't the vibe for ladies' night. And Brad. Brad blocked her number. He posted a photo with his new girlfriend, a 22-year-old waitress. Jessica liked the photo. That level of desperation is actually sad. I ran into Michelle, the single one from the group at the hardware store last week. She tried to stop me. Jason, wow, you look great. I am, I said. Listen, Jessica is really struggling. She misses you. She knows she messed up. Maybe you could meet her for coffee. Just for closure. I laughed. Michelle, tell her this. I don't need closure. I have the receipt. She told the world I was a placeholder for her ex. Now she's free. She got exactly what she asked for. You're such a jerk, Michelle huffed. No wonder she looked elsewhere. And yet, I smiled. I'm the one with the house, the boat, and the peace of mind. Have a nice day. I walked away. To the men reading this, do not ignore the red flags. Do not tolerate the joke disrespect. Do not think she'll change. If she surrounds herself with trash, she will smell like garbage eventually. And never, ever be afraid to walk away. Being alone is infinitely better than being with a woman who secretly despises you. I'm going to go grill a steak now. A steak I paid for, in a cabin I rented, enjoying a life I built. And I don't have to pretend I'm anyone else to enjoy it. Cheers.